So I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time going over the ones with fractions and the one with decimals. You might want to pause the video so that you can look at it longer to make sure that your answers are correct. I just want to point out a couple of things. It's digit times place. No matter which way, it's always digit times place if you're doing fractions or decimals or the exponential form that we'll talk about later. But this is what I want to talk about. So like in this number right here, there was a 0. So if you look in my work, I left the 0 out. So that 0 is in the thousandths place. So when I come right here, I have 2 times 100th, because there's a 2 in the hundredths place. I skipped the thousandth place, and I have 1 times 10,000th. Okay? So you could have put the 0 in there. So in this middle part here, you would have put 0 times 1,000th. Okay? It's up to you though. I left it out. You don't have to include zeros because that 0 isn't going to change the value of anything. Now I will tell you, when you have it in expanded form like this and you go to write it in standard form, it is very easy to mess up and forget your placeholders. So please pay attention to the place that digits are supposed to be in. This 2 is supposed to be in the tens place. This 2 is supposed to be in the hundredths place. This 1 is supposed to be in the 10,000ths place. Oh look, I skipped the thousandths place. I need a placeholder there. Same thing with here. This 0 was in the hundredths place. So you can see I went straight from tenths to thousandths. Okay, I skipped the hundredths. I could have put 0 times 100th. I just chose not to. So I just wanted to point out, when there was a 0 in the number, a different option you had. Now we are going to look at exponential notation with standard form. So I forgot when I was writing this a few moments ago that I was supposed to be using exponential notation, and I wasn't. I was just using regular notation. So I'm going to show you my regular one, but that's really not what I was supposed to do. I'm supposed to write it with exponents. So that 2 is in the 100,000s place. So I'm going to write 2, but instead of writing 100,000, I'm going to write it as a power of 10. So that would be 10 to the 5th power. The next digit is an 8, and it is in the 10,000s place. So I'm going to write 10 to the 4th power, because 10 to the 4th power is 10,000. The next digit is a 3 in the thousands place. So that is 3 times 10 to the 3rd power. The next digit is an 8 in the hundreds place. That's 8 times 10 to the 2nd power. The next digit is a 1 in the tens place. So that's 1 times 10 to the 1st power. The next digit is a 4 in the ones place. So that's 4 times 10 to the 0 power. Because if you remember, any digit, sorry, let me scoot over because y'all can't see all that. Any digit to the 0 power is 1. That was in our power of 10 notes that we did last week. Alright, now we have, I'm going to skip the 0. I could do 0 times 10 to the negative 1, but I don't have to. So I'm going to go to the 5. So 5 times, that is in the hundredths place. So hundredths as a power of 10 is 10 to the negative 2nd power. Then we have 9. 9 times 10 to the negative 3rd power. And finally we have 7 times 10 to the negative 4th power. So instead of writing all those zeros the way we did up here, we can write it in a shorter way using a power of 10. Alright, we're going to look at the last one that was exponential notation. So we have a 5 in the 10,000s place. So 5 times 10 to the 4th power is 10,000. 1 in the thousands place, so that would be 1 times 10 to the 3rd. A 3 in the hundreds place, so that would be 3 times 10 to the 2nd. A 2 in the tens place, so that would be 2 2 times 10 to the first, a 9 in the ones place, so that's 9 times 10 to the 0, because anything to the 0 power is 1. We have a 2 in the tenths place, so that's 2 times 10 to the negative 1. Then another 2 times 10 to the negative 2 for hundredths place. There is nothing in the thousandths place, so I can skip that. Or I could put 0 times 10 to the negative 3. I'm just not going to. You can though. And then finally we have 9 times 10 to the negative 4th, because it is in the 10,000th place. So that is expanded form using exponential notation. On the back side, they gave us expanded notation using fractions, and you had to write it in standard form. Again, you had to pay attention to skipped place values. For example, in the first one, they skipped the tenths place. They went straight from the ones place to the hundredths place. And you have to keep in mind it's digit times place. So they want this digit 6 in this place value 100,000s. This digit 2 in this place value 10,000s. So some students like to make a place value chart, and so they can look and see what place they need what digit in and fill it in, and that's perfectly acceptable. And if they don't give you a digit for a place, then that means you have to put the 0 or the placeholder there. So you can pause the video to check to see if you got answers 1 through 6 correct, and then I'm going to move to go on to 7 through 10. So there is 7 through 10. Some of these didn't have where you needed a placeholder, like 7 didn't need a placeholder, 10 didn't need a placeholder, and there was some further up that didn't need them either. So if you're missing several of these, you need to email me, ask me questions, tell me you need extra help. That way you can learn from your mistakes and get them right so that you don't continue to make those mistakes when you come in for your test.